I wanted to show you how to create a double exposure by working with the blending modes and add some color adjustments to unify. This is trying to imitate what you can do on an actual analog camera or a digital camera, to take two images on a single exposure. It creates kind of a dreamy effect, but I can imagine you could use it for a lot of different things. So to get the best results with this, it works to have one of your layers, which is the bottom layer, to have darker areas, because it's in those black shapes where the other image really comes through. And so I have this image on the bottom of a figure that is really almost in shadow, and then the background is really washed out. We want that. In fact, you could adjust your image to do that, right? And remove the background or add a really simple or a plain light colored background to have this effect work. And then my second layer is just this forest scene that I thought was really dreamy, with the light coming through like in sunset or sunrise. And so what I have is I have the forest layer on top of the figure layer. And the first step is to apply a blending mode. And you can try these different blending modes and see the effects that they have. Blending modes are, forcing the two layers to mix, and with, depending on what we're telling it, to apply and look for different light, tone, color, hue, saturation, and interact in that way. I really like lighten and screen to create the double exposure effect. Lighten is really neat, and now it's picking up this orange and pink of the sun. I'm going to go with screen for this. So I chose the color blending mode or the layer blending mode of screen. And now I want to apply a mask to this, because I would like to bring out some of the details of the bottom layer that are getting lost in the forest right now. And so I go down in my layers panel to apply a quick mask, which is that rectangle with the circle in it. And I'm going to choose my brush. I'm going to work with a soft round brush, because I don't want the edges to be really sharp. And I'm also going to lower the opacity of my brush so that I can try to blend. I'll work with like 30% opacity. And it might take me painting over some areas more, almost like burning an image. I'm making sure that I have black selected as the foreground color. That is the mask color, right? That's going to help block out this layer in places that I paint to reveal the bottom layer. So what I want to bring out in this is the face. It's kind of getting lost because it's not very dark on this bottom image. And so I'm painting just this area by the face. And I might even go down a little farther and get some of the body at the bottom here. I kind of like the way that it darkens the road, but I might stop there and let the rest of the image kind of fall away into the forest. So here's my so far image. It's almost like we can see the forest in our figure. I added an additional effect or additional layer at the top here, which I'll zoom in and show you, but essentially I found a sky with birds flying, and I cut the birds out using the remove background and then working the mask a little bit closer. And I thought I'd put those in just to extend this idea of something coming out of this. I thought it was interesting how there's like this gap in the head almost, right, where the forest opens and the sun is setting. If I had birds there sort of as this in-between element between the two layers, I thought that might be cool. And then the final thing I did to play with this was to work with the color. I wanted to make it feel more unified by having a single color space. Right now it's got, you know, the values black, gray, white, and then the colors of the forest scene. But I thought maybe it'd look even like more like old film if I played with the color. So I added an adjustment layer of color balance. So again, you go down to the bottom of your layer panel and choose the adjustment that you want to make. With color balance, I worked the midtones, so you can choose shadows, highlights, or midtones. And I just worked the midtones to warm them up. So I played with those sliders just to bring things into a warm kind of, maybe I wanted a purplish color there to bring the orange and the purple and sort of minimize the green. I also played with this thing called color lookup, which is really cool. I'll show you the result, but I'll do it as well. So if I go down to color adjustments or adjustment layer again, and I go to color lookup, these try to mimic certain effects, particularly certain effects of film cameras, which I think is interesting. They're sort of their determined collections of color passes, color technologies, I guess. Some of them are not related to technology, but some are, like film stock or Fuji, Kodak. They're kind of imitating that film. For this one, I decided to use late sunset, which I just liked how dark and deep and the overall purple and orange that it cast. And I might play with the opacity on that a little bit because it's a little strong for my tastes. So still having a little bit of that green come through. And there we have it, a double exposure image.